Hello and welcome to Ready Bet Action. I am your host, Stefan Laco, joined today by Mike Smith. Eric Dorn is not with us, but we are here to bring you our favorite picks for the week 15 in the NFL. I mean, it's going to be epic. We actually do have some incredible storylines. We're going to be covering player props. The second half of the show, we're going to start off with just going through like 8 games that we like, 8 games, 9 picks. Before we jump in, Mike, how excited are you for this week? You obviously coming off your massive Falcons victory on Thursday night, that game-winning field goal, just so that you guys can get a worse draft pick next year. You got to love it, right?
So a guy I work with is a big Bucks fan. They've got season tickets. He and I were texting, and he's like, dude, I'm not going to talk crap the whole game. I was like, no, I need you to beat us by 30, please, because I need Raheem gone. Like, just gone. And then we pull that crap off. No, dude, like Brady Quinn is starting, or Brady Cook is starting.
Cook, yeah.
Who we don't know who's starting for the Colts. Like, is P. Rivers actually going to play? Like, I don't know. You got the Chiefs versus the Chargers in that big division game. You've got just a lot of fun storylines with playoff implications. We're at the time of the season where it's time to start talking about contract incentives over the last 3 weeks and making player props based off of that. And, Stephon Diggs had a heavy incentive contract. I think if he gets like 5 catches a game over the next 3 weeks, he gets like 1.5 million or something like that. So, yeah, a lot of that's worth paying attention to, but I don't know. This is like the most enjoyable time of the NFL for me because the college you get a week off. And so you're only focused on NFL for a while as the playoffs are coming around. It's exciting.
I've been able to do a lot more. I've been able to do a lot more research this week because I haven't had to focus on college. But before we jump into our picks, I hope everyone, if you're listening on the podcast, do jump over to YouTube, because if you do, you can see the backdrops for me and Mikey, and it just speaks so much to who we are. Mike has some mini football helmets behind him, a cool picture, vibing with a nice microphone. I've got a self-made painting that takes up half my wall, and then a beautiful little Nutcracker Christmas scene with tinsel trees and sparkling lights. So here we go. It's great. So I love it. But let's start. We've got we're just gonna go through kind of game by game, and some of these games might be involved in a teaser, and we'll let you know when that's the case. But starting off, let's talk about this Ravens-Bengals games. The Ravens are 2.5-point favorites traveling to Cincinnati. Of course, Cincinnati won this game just a couple of weeks ago. T. Higgins might not be playing. Lamar Jackson, I think, is looking a lot better. Derrick Henry looks like he could start getting going a little bit. I actually do have a play on this game. I think I do. Do I have a play on this game? I'm taking the Ravens -2.5. I don't think I do have a play on this game, but I like this pick. Who's got this pick? Is this Mikey?
Eric's
Eric.
Yeah, Eric's got the Bengals +2.5.
Oh my goodness! So I don't have a play on this game. Eric has +2.5 for Cincinnati. So I disagree with him. Obviously, I can't tell you why he's got this. Maybe because he thinks they're going to just do what they did a few weeks ago now that they're going to be at home. But he also told us that he doesn't like the same team winning twice when they're so evenly matched. So I'm curious as to his thoughts. What do you think on this one? Be the tiebreaker for us.
I lean Baltimore, strictly because they lost, and they lost in like not normal Ravens fashion. Like the offense struggled that entire game on Thanksgiving night. And I think there's a little bit of a revenge factor coming in. I think this game's going to be electric. I think it's going to be one of those that we see go well over the total, like we often see in these rivalry games here. But no, I mean, I've got to play on this game. I'm going with the Bengals team total in a teaser of over 19.5. Bengals have scored 32 or more every game since Joe Burrow has returned. They scored 34 against the Ravens 2 weeks ago on Thanksgiving. Ravens D has been good, but when they've played good defenses, like they're still giving up points at time. They've given up 30 plus to the Lions, Bengals, Bills, Chiefs, Texans, and Steelers of all people. So I don't know. This is the one that feels pretty easy to me to get 20 points against the Ravens, as good as Burrow has been playing offensively. But even with that, I do expect the Ravens to have a bounce back game here. I think this is a massive Derrick Henry game this week.
Yeah. So you kind of like probably the total for the game as well, but that's a little bit high. So this is part of a parlay for you, you said?
Yeah, I'm also taking the Patriots team total over 19.5 playing against the Bills. Another division game with a lot on the line here. Patriots are just rolling, man. They played the Bills in week 5, scored 23 then. But they've hit over 19.5 in 10 straight weeks now. They're at home. They're playing better at home. Drake May's balling. TreVeyon Henderson is looking like what we hoped he would look like as a rookie this season. And I just like him to keep it going. I've got no play on how this game ends. I could very easily see it going both ways. I think Eric is on the Patriot or the Bills on this one.
Bills.
And I guess that's his logic of it's hard to be the same team twice, right? But yeah, I mean, over 19.5 for both of these teams. This one is probably my favorite play of the week.
And Josh Allen right now is really just cooking. He's pretty much put the team on his back. He's had to. James Cook has not been scoring as many touchdowns as we'd like. But
Kincaid's back Bills this week too. Kincaid's back this week too, and the Patriots are terrible against the tight end. So
yeah,
that could be fun.
I like that. And Josh Allen, I mean, for DFS and fantasy football has just been absolutely insane. So we have the team total over 19.5 in a teaser in the Bills Patriots game, and then we have the Bills on the money line as well. Let's go to our third game of the week. Vikings travel to the Cowboys. We have a couple different plays that we are going to go with this one. I'm going to start. I have the Cowboys in a parlay. I've got them just straight up on the money line. My logic here is the Vikings are coming off this epic win. This is kind of fading teams this week that overperformed last year, and I kind of expect them to play back down to where they were. JJ McCarthy was incredible last week in that first quarter. We kind of talked about him a little bit as someone we were interested in for DFS. Well, I don't think he's going to do that again. The Cowboys were one of the worst defenses to start the year, but they have come back to earth. I mean, come back. Well, I guess to earth. From the pits of hell, they've come back to earth. They're not as terrible as they once were. And then their offense at home is crazy. They scored like 32.5 points per game at home. So I really just like the Cowboys on the money line, even though the spread is 5. I'm going to just tease it down to a money line right here. Do you have a play on this game? Do you have anything you like?
I've also got Cowboys on the money line and a teaser as well. I put Cowboys at home good, JJ McCrapsky bad, and that's kind of it. The Vikings are averaging 13 points a game on the road over the last 5 road games. And I kind of expect that to happen again here. Maybe they hit 17, who knows? But yeah, Cowboys on the money line. They're just too good at home.
I like that a lot. Does our friend Mr. Doran have a play on this one?
I don't think so. Okay. Negative.
All right. Which game shall we go to next?
I can throw my other leg of the teaser on here now.
Yeah, let's do it.
With the Texans against the Cardinals. I think you got the Cardinals in a teaser too. I'm going to take the Texans and teasing that one down to -3.5. They are, I don't know what the spread is. I don't have that in front of my face. Do you have that up?
Yes, I do. The Cardinals are +10 at Houston.
Yeah, so I'm teasing it down 7 points to get Houston -3.5. Houston's defense right now is just absolutely insane. They've played top 11 offense in the last 3 weeks, and they haven't given up 20 points in any of them. And their defensive line is just out of this world right now, and I just expect them to give the Cardinals absolute hell up front. The Cardinals are very one-dimensional in my mind right now with Jacoby Brissett. Between DeMarcado and Bam Knight, they're just not efficient enough on the ground for that to really come into play here. You don't have to stack the box as good as this D-line is. They're just going to drop back blanket coverage and make Jacoby Brissett and Michael Wilson do what they can. And I just don't see anything near 3.5 happening. I think this could very easily be a massive blowout for the Texans here. So the Cowboys on the money line and Texans at -3.5 and getting into -116.
So yeah, I'm actually teasing this same game, but the opposite direction. So instead of it being at 9.5 or 10, I'm going to tease the Cardinals to plus 17.5. So I'm going pretty far, hoping that you're wrong. Just about that last piece that you said, that you could see it become a blowout. I mean, losing by 17 would still be a blowout. Let's just hope it's not 18. This defense is so good. I don't see Houston trying to rush this game any. I think maybe their offense gets going a little bit more, but you got to think the Cardinals, Jacoby Brissett, to your point, has been needing to do a lot of garbage time work. I know they got blown out last week, but before that, they were playing really well. Again, I'm going to fade Houston a little bit here, coming off an amazing, huge win. This could be a letdown spot after 4 big games. On the other side, I'm expecting the Cardinals to bounce back after what took place against the Rams. I think the fact that they're comfortable letting Brissett throw the ball 40, 50 times if he has to, I think they can keep it within this 17 number. So I'm teasing the Cardinals to plus 17.5. Let's talk about the other side of that parlay for me. I'm going to do the exact same thing in the Raiders-Eagles game. That line right now is Eagles minus 12.5, minus 13. I'm going to tease the Raiders also to 17.5. Listen, is there a world where the Eagles make a statement at home, prove to everyone, yeah, we're on a 3-game losing streak, but we're back. We're ready for the playoffs. We're going to blow out this shitty Raiders team? There's a chance I'm going to bet against it at plus 17.5 for the Raiders. I think Ashton Jeanty can do enough. I don't think he's going to have an electric day, but I think he can do enough to keep the Raiders within, 17.5 points. So we're taking 2 of the craziest lines or the biggest lines of the week in the Raiders and the Cardinals, and we're teasing them to plus 17.5 each. And we get that like at minus 110. So it's not even like it's super crazy juicy.
Dude, I love this. I mean, I said it last week. I finally started making money on the NFL when I started betting the underdog, right? And that's exactly what you're doing here. Now you've got Kenny Pickett starting at quarterback for Vegas. Delicious. I think Kenny Pickett is better than Geno Smith. Let's just call it what it is. So I like this a lot. And the Eagles just offensively have not had enough to really blow out anybody lately. So, yeah, I can see this one happening for sure.
Cool. Let's go to our next game. The Jets are traveling to Jacksonville, where the Jags are 12.5 point favorites. That is a huge number, but you kind of mentioned it off the top. Brady Cook is starting for the Jets. Meanwhile, Jacksonville continues to win. Sometimes we pick for them. Sometimes we pick against them. They don't care. They've just been winning ever since they blew that huge lead they had against Houston, and I was kind of done with them for the year. But look at me. I've got my Jaguars hat on, ready to rock and roll. But I don't actually have a pick in this one. So I'm going to turn it over to you. I'd love to hear your thoughts, or if you do have a play on this.
I do have a play on this one, and I'm going to have a little fun with it. I don't know. I think DraftKings may be the only spot you can find this, but I'm going to take the Jaguars to win both halves on the money line at minus 125. The Jets are just in shambles in general across the board. They've been bad all year, even with Justin Fields. He had 2 good games. Then you bring in Tyrod Taylor, who most people don't even realize still exists. And then now he's injured. So you're stuck with an undrafted free agent in his first game as a starter, probably his first only ever career game he will ever start in the NFL. There's no way. We say it all the time. You always fade rookie quarterbacks, especially in their first game. There's no way they can do enough to this Jaguars team, as good as the Jags have been. The Jets in general, their only offense right now, because of the quarterback situation and with Garrett Wilson injured, is Breece Hall. But now they're playing the Jags, who have the number 1 rushing defense in the league, giving up only 83 yards. I just cannot find a recipe in which the Jags get outscored by the Jets in either half. So give me the Jags to win both halves at minus 125.
I kind of love that. I will definitely, although it is not a play of mine, it's going to be a bet of mine. We don't really tail all that often, but you know what? I'm going to join you on that 12.5.
You got to bet for the home team at least once a year.
Official for the show. Okay, we've got 3 more games to talk about before we jump over to our props. Packers at Broncos. Broncos home underdog at +2.5. I think Eric's taking the Broncos. This one I think is one of the most surprising picks of the week. Not because I disagree, just because I'm surprised our boy Doran is back in the ponies this week.
Yeah. And I think
have you talked to you at all about it?
No, I haven't heard anything about it. I mean, in general, for me, I have a hard time betting games this big, this close at this point in the season, especially. But I mean, I get it, dude. Like, as it doesn't matter how close the Broncos are winning these games by, they're winning these games.
Yeah.
So giving them points at home, like I would kind of take the Broncos. I would lean taking the Broncos at home with points against, I think, any team in the league right now, just because of the home dog and the fact that they're finding a way to win games.
Yeah, if I had to play a side, or if I had to choose a way to tease it one way or the other, I'm with you guys. I would go to the Broncos. We have one more pick, I think. What's up?
The other piece on that game that's worth noting is that Josh Jacobs still is not practicing this week.
Right.
So that would be a massive hit. I mean, don't get me wrong, Emmanuel Wilson's been fantastic when he's getting his opportunities.
Jayden Reed is back.
Jayden Reed's back. Watt has been amazing since he came back. He's actually looked like a true number one wide receiver. So I don't know. There's a lot of firepower over there, but I think if they're out with Jacobs, I like this number even more.
I could see this one being a sneaky shootout. I'll have a couple afternoon only DFS lineups featuring some Jayden Reed and company. Last pick, I think, is a parlay. Let's start with the first half of it. Panthers -2.5 going to the Saints. Again, Saints coming off this huge win against the Bucs. I'm going to fade them in a letdown spot. Panthers coming off the bye. The Panthers have been like, what, the best story in all of the NFL this year? Like, who saw this coming? Like, one of the surprises of the year. This is one of those classic examples of a strength versus a weakness, where I see a top 10 running game that the Panthers have against the 27th rush defense in the Saints. I think Dowdle and company, Chuba Hubbard, get going. I think the Panthers have a good game. I don't think I'll play a whole lot of it in DFS because I don't know which guy's going to get it. And maybe Bryce Young and Tet get going. So I like this Panthers -2.5 quite a bit. It's going to be, I'm trying to remember how I'm betting this.
Panthers -2.5.
Oh, this one's just straight. Never mind.
Yep.
So yeah, perfect. Panthers -2.5. My parlay is because I forgot to give the other half of my Cowboys money line parlay. And so the other half of my Cowboys money line parlay is I'm taking the 49ers who play Tennessee. And I'm going to tell you the line real quick. Tennessee 49ers, the line is -11.5. I'm teasing it down to -6.5 to go with the Cowboys plus on the money line. So anyway, 49ers, I think, go off in this spot. Tennessee, again, I'm going to fade them after a pretty good week there. I don't think they're that good. I don't think Cam Ward has figured it all out. Meanwhile, San Francisco is getting ready for a strong end to the year. I like everyone in 49ers on the offense for DFS. If you want to pivot away from that Detroit Lions Rams game, which has like the highest point total we've seen in like 3 years at 55.5. If you want to pivot away from that, because that's where a lot of people are going to go, I like targeting some of these San Francisco 49ers. So just give me Niners -6.5 plus Cowboys on the money line as my final play. Did we forget any of our plays?
We did not, but I have a question.
Yeah.
Is Cam Ward the starting quarterback for the Tennessee Titans next year?
Next year, yes.
You think so? I think so too. I just think there's a world where he's not, given the fact that you had a whole new coaching scheme coming in as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think you have to.
You have to. I mean, you can't give up on a guy that quick, but I don't know, man.
I think if you take that, if you take the job, it's because you want to work with Cam as well.
That's fair. That's fair. Yeah.
Or you can't get a better one. I don't know.
I mean, you just call P. Rivers, man.
That's right. Hey, do you want to jump over to our player props after a quick break?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. We'll be right back. And we are back. We're going to go over some player props. Let's start with, I think just you and I have player props this week.
Yep.
You have a couple, I believe, in the Baltimore Ravens Cincinnati Bengals game where I kind of fumbled what was going on to begin with. Again, Eric is on Bengals plus 2.5, but you got some pro Ravens plays here that I'd like to hear.
Yeah, I've got Isaiah Likely over 40, or no, I got it at a better number. It's different than my notes.
37 and a half.
37 and a half. Yeah, one rule that we've learned this year is you always, every single time, play a tight end against the Bengals. That's it. Yeah. The last time Isaiah Likely played the Bengals, he went for 95. With that, Mark Andrews doubled down and also went over this number at minus 45. As Likely has gotten healthier and healthier, to me, he's becoming more of the reception tight end versus Andrews has been more of the red zone tight end. I like him across the middle of the field to gain more yards than Mark Andrews is doing right now. So go ahead and give me Isaiah Likely over 40 yards. The Bengals have the worst team in the league in fantasy points allowed over expectation to tight ends this season. They're giving up, I think it's combined tight ends play per game is over like 25 fantasy points a game or something like that. So, yeah, I love both of these tight ends to cook. Isaiah Likely's got a better number, and I think he's going to get more yards over the middle of the field. So give me that at minus 110. I also fully expect a massive game from Derrick Henry. So I am taking a side piece of Derrick Henry with 2+ touchdowns at plus 320, just putting half unit on this.
Love that.
As it stands today, the Bengals are averaging giving up 2.2 rushing touchdowns a game to the running back. You can't not take Derrick Henry in this spot. One touchdown's like minus 170. That's not enticing enough for me to take it. But 2+ at plus 320 on a half unit, I'm all over this one.
I like how you're playing this. I thought about parlaying Christian McCaffrey and Derrick Henry anytime touchdowns. This would be another way to play it, but I'll probably play it both ways because you don't get plus 320 just parlaying the two of them. You can get it like minus 110.
Yeah.
I like Derrick Henry and DFS an awful lot. I like Isaiah Likely. Tell me if this is crazy. So there's a lot of areas I want to spend up in DFS. How insane would it be for me to put Isaiah Likely in the tight end and Mark Andrews as my flex, just so I can save a bunch of money so that I can play like St. Brown and Puka Nacua this week with, some strong running backs?
I don't think it's crazy at all. I would not do it in the same lineup as Derrick Henry, but
right.
Yeah, I mean, I think
there's. But if I wanted to do like a Lamar, like in tournament plays, if I want to do like a Lamar onslaught, going with Lamar, the two tight ends.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a world where you see Mark Andrews go for 40 and a touchdown, and then Isaiah Likely go for over 100. Like, I don't think that's out of the equation by any means.
I love it. Speaking of equations, my next play is guaranteed to hit. It has hit in 8 of the last 10 games, and those 2 games where it didn't hit, it was because Russell Wilson was playing quarterback. Jackson Dart is back. This is a fun one. This is not what you're expecting. We're going to take Darius Slayton, longest reception, over 18.5 yards. I've never done one of these bets before, a longest reception bet, but we're going to go with it. Darius Slayton over 18.5. And then in DFS, I'm going to be playing Wan'Dale with Jackson Dart instead of Darius Slayton. This way I can kind of win either way. But this is my favorite play of the weeks from a props perspective.
Do you think we can jump on Kalshi and get like a Jackson Dart 2+ concussions play?
Oh my gosh. Give me your next pick. This next one is brought to you from, I know he was a receiver at Texas. Where does he play now?
Yeah.
About Isaiah Bond.
Isaiah Bond. He plays for the Cleveland Browns now, and he's going under 1.5 receptions at minus 135. He's had a couple of decent games here throughout this season. He's sitting on my taxi squad right now in Dynasty, where he's had, 6 targets here or there. All of that came early in the season. Since Shedeur has taken over, he's yet to receive more than 2 targets. And that includes last week when Shedeur actually had a really great game. The wind chill in this game is supposed to be minus 20. The Browns in general already want to run the football more than anything. I'll be honest with you. I don't even have it in front of me. I don't remember who they're playing. I'm just fading Isaiah Bond because this has not been hitting at all. I think it's only gone over twice the entire season. So Small number.
Chicago. And
yes, you are correct. It is Chicago.
Is like 38.5. So
yeah, and it's in Chicago. Like,
yeah,
it's just this is going to be I think a very boring game to watch. So go ahead and give me the guy that's not catching the football all year. So it's scary, but it's scary because it only takes 2 receptions. It takes 2 screens, but they're not giving them screens. So under 1.5 minus 135.
Yeah, I like that. We talked about what the Jets were trying to throw down at Jacksonville, and we don't like it. We're all over Jacksonville minus 12.5. The way Jacksonville plays football now, everyone knows Trevor Lawrence, but it's all about the run game. Liam Cohen has really just relied on that, especially as they've been winning games. I think they learned from their mistakes in that huge loss to Houston, where they were up big and didn't adjust soon enough. Also, the defense imploded. I don't expect that to happen. I think they're going to continue to rely on their beast that is Travis Etienne. We're going to go over 71.5 rushing yards. Again, he doubled this last week. The week before, he had 71. Then he missed it. Then he had 124 at San Francisco. I just think that as the Jaguars continue to win and in games where they're favored to win by 12.5 points, you got to assume Etienne is going to hit this number. Mikey and I talked about doing the touchdown. It was minus 170. We didn't like that. We thought about the combo yards, but it was kind of all the way up by like 91 or something. So we like this play the best. We're going to take Etienne over 71.5 rush yards.
I love this play, dude. He's been sneaky good all year. He's the number 11 running back in fantasy football right now. Never saw that come in preseason. And even the first half of this season, as much as they've been talking about Tootin potentially taking over the role. So,
yeah. And with Tootin fumbling last week, he didn't get much more action after that. I really think Travis Etienne, as the Jags continue to need to win games here because Houston's playing so well. I love that we were all talking about the Colts just like a month and a half ago. But anyway, what's your next play? I love all your unders, by the way. This next one is brought to you from why don't we just take the under on all the wide receivers in this game and smile all the way home because we'll hit at least 2 of 3. But I like the way you're attacking this.
Dude, I was just in Kansas for the last 3 days surrounded by Chiefs fans. So I needed a way to fade the Chiefs just after being annoyed for the last 3 days. So I'm going to take the under on Quentin Johnston to have under 33.5 receiving yards. This one hurts because, man, to start the season, I was such a big QJ fan. Like, he came out, looked so good. He remembered how to catch a football. Justin Herbert was getting him the ball. We've talked multiple times about how, the Chargers offensive line is just banged up. You got Herbert's injury. Last week, I played this exact same play, but it was for Gadsden. That one hit by a long shot. And so I think what I've kind of just determined is until Herbert's hand gets better and the offensive line look better, I'm just going to keep rotating on the Chargers, either Quinn Johnston or Gadsden, just depending on what defense they're playing.
I agree and disagree. I agree that you should do it. I disagree that you should rotate. I think each week we take Keenan Allen, Ladd McConkey, Quentin Johnson, and Oradney Gadsden. We take the under on all four of them, and we're going to hit 3 of the 4.
You're guaranteed to hit 3 of the 4. Guaranteed.
Dude, let's do it. Side piece.
QJ, he hasn't received more than 3 targets in the last 3 games. In that time, he has a total of 31 yards combined. The Chiefs have the 11th best defense in points allowed over expectation against wide receivers. I hate playing this, but I also love this play at the same time. So I'm going to go and do it. I've got him sitting on my bench in 3 of my 4 fantasy leagues, and I stare at him every week for the last 8 weeks trying to figure out if I should drop him. Should have done it a long time ago.
Amari Hampton is back as well. So,
yeah.
So, you intrigued me because while you were talking, I was going to be looking up stats for my next play because I just kind of know them without the exact specifics. But I was so enthralled by what you're saying. I'm all over this Quentin Johnson play. But my next play is I'm going to take a James Cook anytime touchdown because I want to tap into the Eric Doran logic of this man is due. He is due for a touchdown. He is one of the best running backs, and he has only scored a couple of weeks. He's had some huge blow-up weeks for fantasy, but most of that's off of yards. I think he gets into the end zone this week versus the Patriots. Give me James Cook anytime touchdown. It's at minus 110. It just feels like a good number, even odds essentially. So my least confident play of the week, but still I feel pretty good about it. I'm also doing this full transparency. I'll be playing 0 James Cook in DFS. So this is how I'm hedging that, because if he's going to go off, it's most likely because he's going to get that additional touchdown on top of the yards. So because I'm not playing him as much as in DFS, I'm going to attack it this way because I do think he could get in the end zone. So yeah, your next play is one that I really like. Or is it? I thought about this one. I've actually bet this one and I forgot to add it to my card, but I bet this earlier today. So
nice.
I want to hear you talk about in that same game, other side of the football.
Yeah, and it's adding on to your James Cook play. The Patriots are giving up 1.6 rushing touchdowns a game right now, so I like that a lot.
Josh Allen, 2 rushing touchdowns coming in.
Dude, don't even curse yourself like that. My final play is going to be Travion Henderson over 48 rushing yards at minus 112, 48 and a half rushing yards there. He gets the Bills, who obviously shut down Pitt last week, shockingly. But prior to that, they gave this number up in 6 straight. On the season, they're the Bills are the 5th worst against the run, give it up 135 rushing yards a game. We're getting almost a 100-yard cushion there with this number. On top of that, Travion has hit this number in 6 straight. Since we saw Ramondre Stevenson go down with his injury, Travion has taken over this backfield. Even with Ramondre back, he is getting the key carries, the first looks, and he is hands down the most explosive player in the backfield on that team right now. Going over 48 against the Bills right here. This is another one that I'm jumping all over this week.
Yeah, and I'm with you 100%. If you look at the rushing props for this game, Stevenson and Henderson both are like right at 10.5, which is pretty surprising to me, because I'm with you, especially that we talked about it with receivers. We'll talk about it right now. That rookie post-bye bump, I don't know if that's the right order of words, but you know what I'm saying. They were just on a bye. He's a rookie. I think gives them time to really get him involved in the play calling. I am all over this one. Travion Henderson, I think, is a great tournament play in DFS. I also really love laddering this. What if they don't have a backfield split? What if it is all Travion? He could go for 100 again, like it wouldn't be the first time. We know he's got the talent to do it. That's awesome. Those are our player props. Let's break it down from the top if you're ready. Oh, what do you got, Mikey?
Nothing. I got nothing.
Oh, okay. Let's break it down from the top because I'm fumbling and mumbling. Why don't you take over all of the plays except for mine? You talk about your plays, and then you let us know when you're doing Eric's, and then I'll wrap us up before we head over to player props.
Yeah, I'm going to start with a couple of teasers. I'm going to take the Bengals team total over 19.5 with the Patriots team total over 19.5 at minus 119. Another teaser of the Cowboys on the money line with the Texans minus 3.5 at minus 116. And give me the Jaguars to win both halves at minus 125. Then Eric is taking the Bills on the money line at the Patriots. He has the Bengals plus 2.5 at home against the Ravens. And then he's got the Broncos at home plus 2.5 as home dogs against the Packers at minus 110.
I love it. I love it. All right. I'm going to take the 49ers minus 6.5 parlayed with the Cowboys on the money line at minus 105. I'm going to take the Panthers minus 2.5 at the Saints minus 110. I'm going to take Jacksonville minus 12.5. It's not on the slide, but I'm doing it at minus 110. Then we're going to parlay two really just awful teams at plus 17.5. We're going to take the Cardinals and the Raiders, and we get that at minus 110. All right, our player props. Hit me with those great. I love all your plays. I'm sorry that I'm going to curse them all by tailing you.
Yep, you just did. I appreciate that. Give me Isaiah Likely over 37.5 receiving yards. Isaiah Bond under 1.5 receptions. Quentin Johnston under 33.5 receiving yards. Travion Henderson over 48.5 rushing yards. And then a side piece of a half unit of Derrick Henry for 2+ touchdowns at plus 320.
And I'm going to take Darius Slayton, longest reception over 18.5 yards at minus 115. We're going to take a James Cook anytime touchdown at minus 110. And finally, we've got Travis Etienne over 71.5 rushing yards at minus 110. Y'all, that's how we're going to make money this week. Thank you so much for listening. Again, you can find us over on the RotoViz feed. If you're listening to us on RotoViz, we've got tons of other episodes over at Ready Bet Action. Find us on YouTube and everywhere else you listen or watch. Thank you so much. For Mike, I'm Stefan. Have an enjoyable and wonderful week 15 in the NFL. We'll talk to you all next week.